We often think of art as a subject that's the complete opposite of things like math and science, but that's completely untrue. So for today's 5 Artists in 5 Minutes, I want to bring in my friend Betty from ARTiculations to help me explain.
Hi everyone, it's true. Artists have long sought for ideal beauty in art using numbers, such as proportions for ideal figures, like the golden ratio. It's also important for making things look realistic and convincing, and that's when things like geometry and perspective come into play.
And even things that look fake because they take advantage of our knowledge of mathematics. Things like recursion and logical paradox, symmetry, fractals, etc. are all found in art. So today with Betty, I'm going to share 5 of them. So right away you may have already pictured Leonardo da Vinci's iconic Vitruvian Man. But did you know there was a Swiss-French architect who was just as obsessed with the golden ratio? Le Corbusier was known to be one of the pioneers of what is now called modern international style in architecture. He believed that the mathematical order of the universe was closely bound to the golden ratio and the Fibonacci series. And he sought harmony and proportion in his work through these numbers, a system he called modula. He said they are rhythms apparent to the eye and clear in their relations with one another. And these rhythms are at the very root of human activities. They resound in man by an organic inevitability, the same fine inevitability which causes the tracing out of the golden section by children, old men, savages, and the learned.
Judd was an American minimalist painter and sculptor. He was well known for creating highly finished, geometric, and industrial-looking metal and plastic sculptures, as well as using positive sculptural forms to emphasize the negative space. Although his sculptures seem simple and straightforward, they actually involve a high level of precision and careful mathematical calculation. In his progression series from the 1960s to 70s, he made these linear anodized aluminum sculptures where the sizing of the colored blocks and the spacing between them are based on a Fibonacci sequence. A Fibonacci sequence is a type of mathematical sequence where the value of each number is based on the sum of the preceding 2 numbers. As we can see in this work, where the size of the purple blocks go 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21. And the same pattern is present in the negative space gaps between the purple blocks. And Judd is actively engaging the viewer, because if you're a nerd like me, you get super excited every time you discover a Judd sculpture that you haven't seen before, especially when it's from the progression series, because it's another chance for you to look at it, engage with it, and figure out what exact geometric pattern or mathematical sequence it was that he used.
So LeWitt was an American artist linked to various movements, but is perhaps best known for his conceptual and minimalist wall drawings and structures. His wall drawings are created from sets of guidelines or simple diagrams drawn directly onto the wall. The drawings are usually executed by people other than the artist himself. Even after his death in 2007, his work continues to be made on site, generally for the duration of an exhibition, and are then destroyed. As a result, his diagrams and systems play a huge role, and the resulting image is left to the interpretation of the individuals who create it. In wall drawing 122, which was first installed at MIT, the work is, quote, all combinations of 2 lines crossing, placed at random, using arcs from corners and sides, straight, not straight, and broken lines. The result was 150 unique pairings that unfold on the gallery walls. Similarly, wall drawing 260 systematically runs through all possible 2-part combinations of arcs and lines.
Colville was a Canadian painter, most well known for depicting scenes, people, and objects from everyday life. Even though many of his paintings seem narrative-driven, since most of them were based on either people in his family or scenes from his hometown in Nova Scotia, all of his compositions are also highly driven by mathematical ratios and precise geometry. When painting a scene such as a hotel room, a snowplow, or a figure running, Koval often created many sketches studying the sizes, proportions, and accurate perspective renders of these objects in space. And his compositions are often based on perfect alignments of organic and geometric forms. Again, Colville's works can be highly sensual and emotional in nature, but at the same time they can also be very logical and systematic.
Hanne Darboven was a German conceptual artist. Her work includes various forms of numerical writing in which her systematic work occupies the realm of abstraction and universality. Darboven says, I only use numbers because it's a way of writing without describing. I choose numbers because they are so constant, confined, and artistic. In the early 1970s, Darboven created a kind of writing that was standardized and abstract. In 1973, she began to transcribe texts into the script. She began to introduce visual documentation alongside the text, and in 1979, she created a system of musical notation based on her system of numbering dates. In mathematical music, she created compositions by assigning numbers to certain notes. The result is an abstract language that is entirely self-referential. These are performable compositions. I'll leave some links for you to listen to in the description bar. So there you go. Those are our 5 picks for this week's 5 Artists in 5 Minutes. Of course, there's a ton more out there, so if you have any interesting ones, please share them with us in the comment section below. You should definitely go ahead and check out Betty's channel, ARTiculations. I'll leave a little clicky thing right here. She has some really cool videos, including how to talk to children about art, which is awesome. And she also has 2 videos about why art is so expensive. So go ahead and check out her channel for those videos. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next time.